When it comes to the JRPG genre, 2025 feels like a barren wasteland. When you look at the release schedule, we just had Suikoden 1 and 2 remaster, which I've been streaming Suikoden 2 on Twitch, by the way, so you should give me a follow on Twitch and check me out there. There's Lunar 1 and 2 remastered, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, which some of you will say that's not a JRPG because it isn't made in Japan, but I don't think that matters. But we really should be calling all these games command games, but whatever. And then there's Trails in the Sky FC remake, and that feels like pretty much all of the releases. Oh, and we're supposed to be getting Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD remake sometime this year, but don't know when yet. Now, if you're like me, you have a backlog that you could pile as high as the Empire State Building. So there's always games to play and stuff to do. So a whole quiet year wouldn't stop me from playing a lot of video games, but anyway, what if I told you that this drought of news is coming to an end? Yes, the floodgates are about to be opened. Why? Because the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct is coming.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
It's coming on April 2nd, and I plan on live streaming the event
Directory?
to this YouTube channel. Why do I think the floodgates are about to open? Well, it should come as no surprise to anyone that the Switch has been dominating the console space in Japan for some time now. And so it's only natural that many publishers and developers are looking to market their latest games for Nintendo's shiny new hardware, despite the fact that some of their new games may end up releasing on other platforms. Like Square Enix, for instance, announced about a year ago now that they were going to focus on being multi-platform. So no more PlayStation exclusives. And since the Switch 2 is likely going to be the place that a good chunk of their games are going to sell the best on, you bet they're going to want to market their new releases for this new piece of hardware. So, what are the new potential games? Well, first, I have to preface by saying, literally anything could be announced. And I mean almost anything. Like, there are so many franchises that we haven't heard hide nor hair from in such a long time that they could just randomly pop up at this event. But even if they don't get announced at this particular event, there's bound to be some games that get announced in the following weeks and months after the Switch 2 has become official. The reason there are no games coming this year is probably because all of these Japanese developers and publishers have been waiting for Nintendo to finally show this thing off. Recently, Chrono Trigger celebrated its 30th anniversary. Why is this relevant? Well, Square Enix of Japan had this to say. To mark the 30th anniversary, we will be launching various projects that go beyond the world of games over the next year as a token of our gratitude to everyone who has played Chrono Trigger so far. This whole various projects that go beyond the world of games indicates that there could be just some merch stuff, which would be cool, I guess, but they could be hinting at some big remake, like maybe an HD 2D remake of Chrono Trigger, or maybe even a new Chrono game entirely. Could one of these various projects get announced at the Switch 2 Direct? We also know that Persona 4 Remake is likely on the way as well. Ex-user Faz uncovered that a domain was registered for p4re.jp. As he mentions, the same was done for Persona 3 Reload, and shortly after, it was revealed. Seems like the same scenario is happening with Persona 4, which means it's likely that it could be shown at this conveniently timed Switch 2 Direct. But that's not all. Like I said, literally anything is game to be shown at this event. Fire Emblem typically releases every couple of years, and the last Fire Emblem, Fire Emblem Engage, released in January 2023, so it seems we're probably due for a new Fire Emblem release sometime soon. So pretty good chance that could show up. Yoko Taro has been teasing a new project for what seems like forever now, and we still don't know what the hell it is. My guess is it's a new Nier game. Could they have been waiting to show us this so that they can reveal it for the Switch 2? Valkyria Chronicles 4 was a game that released it's been 7 years since that game came out? How have I not played it yet? See, I told you I have too many games in my backlog. So, is it possible that Valkyria Chronicles 5 could be announced? Or has Sega just given up on this series? Speaking of Sega, remember how last month they re-registered their trademark for Skies of Arcadia in the Japanese title Eternal Arcadia? Could there be a remaster of that game coming, or maybe even a sequel to it? Could it even be a remake of Skies of Arcadia? Also, a new Tales of game could be announced given that Tales of Arise released like 4 years ago. Fuck. It's been that long? So we're due for a new game in that series, or they might just continue making more remaster announcements, like the Tales of Xillia remaster that was leaked. Fuck, Ni no Kuni 3 could just get announced out of nowhere. Are they still interested in making more of those games, or did they just give up because the mobile title flopped? And what about Dragon Quest 12? Nah, we're not gonna get info on that game. So then there's the Final Fantasy Tactics remaster that leaked like 4 years ago, so at some point we should hear about that as well. So there's a lot of potential on the horizon for some big JRPG announcements, even if it's not directly at the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, but potentially in the following weeks and months. And there's even potential for a big Final Fantasy game reveal. You know what I'm talking about. Final Fantasy IX Remake. But this has also been talked about for quite some time. So is Final Fantasy IX Remake even real? Well, you should check out my thoughts on that in this video right here.